What is China's response to Tariff Man 2, Joe Biden, levying these tariffs this week?
They're outraged. They're very upset. They're pounding the table.
Okay, so they're shouting, they're outraged, but what are they really going to do?
Well,
how are they going to retaliate?
They always retaliate, so expect something. They don't always do it right away. When we did our export controls in October of 2022, it took them about 6 months to figure out what they wanted to do, because they try to do things that will hurt us and not them. And when our economies are intertwined, and they still are, we ship them. I mean, the total trade is in the 700 billion camp collectively. With that much going back and forth, there's a lot of, we have not decoupled, let's put it that way. So there's things that doing things to us is going to hurt some of them. I think there's three things they'll probably look at. One is what we did, just higher tariffs on things that we sell them, pick a few. And they tend to try to match us in terms of value. So if ours is 18 billion, you should expect them to do 18 billion. So one thing is just higher tariffs. Another thing is buy less agriculture products. That's what they did with Trump tariff. They shifted their soybean purchases to Brazil. And
I remember that.
That is complicated politically, because produces a sharp reaction against the administration in farm country. Trump's response to that was basically to subsidize U.S. farmers and pay them money to hold them harmless from the money they were losing on unsold soybeans. So the Chinese could play that game again. Or probably the most likely thing is to find some more critical minerals that they'll refuse to sell us. We talked about gallium and germanium last fall when they put controls on that. And my bottom line was, inconvenient but not fatal. I think the one that we're a little worried about right now is graphite, because
graphite would be a big,
because we don't have very much, like 1% of our need. And they've got a lot. I mean, they're not the only place that has graphite, but
who else has it?
That's a good question. I don't remember offhand.
There are some allies, Australia, Canada, but it's the majority of the production and usable materials through refining is from China.
You can also make it synthetically as well, but
yes,
I think cutting off natural graphite all these things produce rather significant short-term supply interruptions. And then, companies do what they're good at. They figure out ways to work around it. And there's a new normal down the road, but it's a more expensive new normal. So what'll happen is there'll be confusion and a lot of anxiety and table pounding, and then prices will go up, and the conversion to domestic batteries will slow down if they do that.
Oh boy! So we're gonna have to wait and keep guessing until something actually hits.
It's a mess. Yes.
Yeah, and I don't. They haven't done anything. Well, I mean, it's been 3 days, so they haven't done anything yet. And it may not be, as I said, right away, because anything they do, even if they stop selling graphite, that means their companies, their mines take a revenue hit, and there are job consequences for that. So if they switch soybean producers, it may cost them more. It depends on where they go. It depends on how tight supplies are and whether they can find what they need. My impression is, and listeners can call in and write in and tell us that we're wrong. My impression is the Chinese are having a somewhat better year agriculturally on their own right now, which gives them a little bit more flexibility. They're not going through a period of massive drought or other weather events that have disrupted the crops there. I mean, too soon to say, because a lot of this is harvested in the fall. So we'll see.